Hi, good morning. This is a reflection on lesson 322 in A Course in Miracles, and it says, I can give up but what was never real. Honestly, this book puts the word but in here, and it gets confusing because what this book means when it uses the word but is I have been substituting the word only in its place. Because a lot of times but means except, like it's a negation, but this, it always treats it as an only. And I'm like, it makes it so hard to read. Okay, I'm going to stop ranting. You know how I feel about the language in this book. I can give up only what was never real in the first place. So this talks about giving up illusions and releasing fear so that all that remains is love. That's basically what it is. So it's with this idea of giving up kind of brought to mind the image of a hot air balloon and the this feeling. I love to think about this, that underneath every, like, what are pure true essences versus what we take ourselves to be, and this idea of wholeness. Do you feel like you need to add stuff to yourself to feel whole? Like, I need to add the perfect job, I need to add a good relationship, I need to add a practice into my daily routine because it feels like I need to do something or add something to myself so I can feel whole, like I'm filling a hole to feel whole. And then there's the other aspect, or do you have this idea of your wholeness being always there, it's just obscured. So it's a taking away what does not belong, what does not fit, in order to feel your wholeness, to feel your fullness, I want to say. So do you fundamentally feel like you've got to add stuff to yourself? Or do you fundamentally feel like it's just a matter of shedding, letting go, taking away what doesn't belong? And it brought to mind the idea of a hot air balloon and how the energy it takes, like when you think about are they sandbags, the things that hold, like the rope with the big sandbag that holds the hot air balloon down, and then the fire is lit, and it's getting going, it's starting the heat, but the sandbags are still there, so the balloon doesn't just immediately go away, right, into the air. And it's like those sandbags feel like the weight that we might carry a lot of times through life that makes us feel all the downward pressure emotions, feelings, sensations, thoughts, whatever feels like we're being suppressed in some way. And then I feel like all we have to do is unhook these sandbags one at a time, and our realness, our true nature is just it wants to be free, it wants to lift, it wants to be light as air, to float. But the sandbags are already the things weighing down our lightness of being. And so I thought, well, what's it like then if I feel like I fundamentally need to do more, add more to myself, or like insert an energy into my essence in order to feel a fullness? That's like keeping your sandbags tethered to the basket, and you just keep cranking up the heat, like, oh my God, it's going to take more and more fuel to get this balloon off the ground, to get it into the air. And it'll never feel light. It'll always feel like there's a drag, and I'm just burning more fuel in order to get any sense of lightness. And I think of that fuel as like when I feel like adding to myself to feel whole, like, oh God, I just got to add this into my routine. I got to add this. I got to go find the perfect relationship or friendships, or, not that these things are bad. We want connection, but to feel like I am flawed and I can become whole, or I'm full of holes and I can fill those holes with outside things. So I go seeking those things. It's like adding more fuel, and but really all I'm needing is to just like drop a sandbag or two to feel the lightness, to let go of the expectation that there's anything wrong with me at all, or the assumption. And just like more self-acceptance like is a form of letting go. It's a form of release of expectation. It's like those feel like opposite energies, like acceptance for what is here versus resistance to what is here. Like if I'm constantly resisting, like I shouldn't be this way, or I shouldn't feel this way, or I should be doing this, I should be having that. And there's all the shoulding. Like I said before, I'm shoulding all over myself. I want to coin that phrase. I'm sure somebody else has said it, but it makes me giggle every time. Because that's the selfing mechanism that says something's wrong with me. Here, let me add all this stuff to me, like to build a new facade, when really I'm just clouding my inner light. The source of me is love, right? So that image of a hot air balloon really, when it came to me, I was like, man, I love that, because it's like you would think, oh, just keep turning up the fuel. That's our energy. And no wonder we're exhausted every time we go seeking. The energy of seeking what's out there that will make me feel good, that will make me feel right. Or I'm looking out at the world and it's just so awful and I feel like it's so wrong. And so that's me burning up a fuel that says, like, if I feel this way about it, that means I'm fixing something. I'm doing something about it, and it's like, not really. You're just burning up your own fuel, right? And your sandbags are still there and you can feel the drag. And so I really love that analogy or metaphor. I don't know, maybe it's the same thing. And I don't know why, but that's what this lesson made me think of. Because again, I can't even remember the title because it had the word but in it. I can give up only what was never real. And I feel like those sandbags are what was never really real in the first place. They're all the things we just put on ourselves. All that illusory expectation and judgment and self-criticism and all of that crap. And really, we just want to accept ourselves. Like, is it possible for me to accept everything as it arises? Oh, there's another thought. Instead of going, damn it, I don't want to think those thoughts. I was so judgy. I'm a terrible person. Why can't we just say, oh, there's that old chestnut, and kind of laugh at them and give it love and acceptance, like, I see you. Because the more personally that I've done it, and I've heard other people talk about this too, it's not just me, the more I do that, it just loosens the grip, and they come around fewer and fewer. They come around less often, less frequent is what I wanted to say. And I feel like, and that the other day I even had this thought, I'm like, man, that old thought pattern, something brought it to mind. I was like, yeah, I haven't ruminated on that in so long. It just, because sometimes it's hard to see what's not there unless something triggers a memory. Like, oh yeah, I used to feel really like a lot of resistance to that. And over, like, coming into that acceptance, okay, I see you, I accept you, I love you. You were there to protect me. You were there to try to create a barrier between me and harm that I perceived out in the world. And now you're gone. And I just love that it, like, the coming closer to something loosens its hold over us. Where we think, okay, I got to keep it away for it to not get close enough to have a hold on me. But no, that's the hold it already has, is oh, and it's true. Girl, it's true.